Exclusive. Meghan Markle's latest message to King Charles shows how she really feels about royals. There are moments in public life when silence speaks louder than any statement. And then there are moments when every single move a person makes tells the entire story. For Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, this appears to be one of those moments. Because what has emerged recently is not a letter, not a phone call, not a formal press release. It is something far more deliberate, far more telling. A message sent not in words, but in actions, in choices, in the carefully constructed narrative of a woman who knows exactly what she is doing and why. Meghan Markle has never been someone who does things by accident. Even her fiercest critics would concede that point. Every appearance, every project, every carefully timed revelation has been part of a broader story she is telling about herself, her life, and, whether intentionally or not, her relationship with the British royal family. And lately, that story has taken a striking new turn. Sources close to the situation, and there are several, speaking with increasing candor, describe a mood that can only be called detached. Not hostile, not openly bitter, but detached in the way that someone becomes when they have truly made peace with walking away from something. Or someone. That someone, in this case, appears to be King Charles III. Now, let's be clear about what we know and what we don't. There has been no public falling out, no dramatic confrontation, no leaked correspondence. At least, not yet. What there has been is a pattern, a consistent, undeniable pattern of choices that, when viewed together, paint a very specific picture. Meghan's latest ventures, her lifestyle brand, her podcast projects, her media appearances, have been almost entirely focused on building a life and an identity that requires nothing from the monarchy, nothing from Buckingham Palace, nothing from the institution that once defined her public role, and, for a time, very nearly consumed her. She is not attacking the crown. She is simply moving on. And somehow, that feels like the loudest message of all. But here is where it gets more complicated. Because moving on and truly feeling at peace are two very different things. And those who have observed Meghan closely over the past several months suggest that beneath the polished exterior, beneath the carefully worded interviews and the sun-soaked California imagery, there is still a layer of unresolved feeling that surfaces, quietly but unmistakably, in how she speaks about family, about belonging, about what it means to be truly accepted. She has spoken publicly, more than once, about the importance of chosen family, about surrounding yourself with people who protect your peace, about the deep value of being in spaces where you are not questioned, not second-guessed, not made to feel like an outsider in your own home. Those who know the history will understand exactly what those words are pointing at, even when her name for it goes unspoken. King Charles, for his part, has maintained a public silence on all matters relating to Harry and Meghan that is almost architectural in its precision. Every statement, every official engagement, every carefully managed appearance has been designed to project stability, continuity, the unshakable calm of a monarch focused on duty. But behind that calm, sources suggest, there is genuine sadness. A father who had hoped, perhaps naively, that time and distance might soften the edges of the estrangement. So what does this mean for Prince Harry? That is perhaps the most delicate question of all, because Harry sits at the center of all of this. The son who left, the husband who followed his wife across an ocean, the man who has spent years trying to reconcile two worlds that, frankly, may never reconcile themselves. Harry's relationship with his father is, by every credible account, complicated in ways that defy easy description. There is love there. Few who have observed the family closely doubt that. But there is also hurt, misunderstanding, a gulf that has been widened not just by geography, but by choices, by words spoken publicly that cannot be unspoken, and by the institutional machinery of the monarchy that has, at times, seemed more interested in protecting its image than healing its family. And Meghan is keenly aware of all of it, which is why her message to King Charles, whether intentional or not, carries such weight. Because it is not just a personal statement, it is a signal about the direction the Sussex household is headed,